Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
Welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. For a radio audience tuning in at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com, we're glad that you all can be with us. Also joining us online worldwide via our podcast at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music. We're glad you all could be with us as well. Well, as you guys know, October is recognized for a lot of different things. But one of the most important things is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's a great opportunity for us to be able to talk about, of course, the advancements that's been happening when it comes to cancer research, but also being able to let people know how they can be a part of the calls to action as well, being able to help with financing and also awareness. Well, one individual from the Yazoo City area that's doing just that is our guest for today. We're excited to welcome Queen Street Lewis to our broadcast today. We're going to talk to Queen not only about why this is important for her to be a part of, but she's also going to talk to you about a special event taking place on Saturday, October the 12th in Yazoo City, and that being the Yazoo City Pink October Breast Cancer Awareness Month Walk. Also, if you guys are not staying connected with Queen, we'll let you know how to do that too. Queen, thank you so much for spending some time with us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Cyrus. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule for me.
Well, look, the pleasure's mine. I should let our audience know I had not seen Queen in a while, but she supported WYAD's 10-year anniversary in September. It's hard to believe it was a month ago, Queen, already. But it was great to be able to see her. For those joining us via the podcast, you see a picture of Queen and myself together. Queen, I want to talk about this because this is a topic, a subject that you're very passionate about. Why is breast cancer awareness something that you feel a need to be able to spread the word about?
Actually, because it's like 4 generations deep for me. My grandmother, my mom, my aunt, and they're all gone, and I'm still here, and I'm like a 16-year survivor. So that's why it is so important to me.
You know, it is. I interview a lot of people, Queen, as you know, and I've been able to talk to, some high-profile individuals who've shared their own breast cancer journey, and also just everyday individuals like myself and you, who've been able to go through it. I bring that up to ask you, was it an easy thing for you to talk about in the process?
Actually, it was very easy for me to talk about when it happened, I guess, because it showed me how strong my faith really was, because I really didn't know, how you think, I want to have that grandma-type faith, and I didn't realize I had it until I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And so I can say now, I can't say I didn't have any bad days, because I did, but I did not have any bad days where I just gave up hope.
Gotcha. And I appreciate you sharing that. Breast cancer is one of those things, and I'm so glad that, of course, during October it's getting the attention it needs. Of course, we know, Queen, and you know more than I do, the importance of research, the importance of funding, right, and the importance of awareness. I want to talk to you about the walk is going to be a part of that awareness too, but what has it been like for you to share your own story and to let people know the importance of, especially women, of doing those self-checks and make sure they're getting their mammograms?
Because I think it's important because, like you said, getting those mammograms and making sure you get early prevention, is worth a whole lot. Once they diagnose it early, and then it can make a world of difference in your prevention. And then also the most important part is when you're diagnosed, is not being fearful. And I've always used a little thing about fear being false evidence appearing real. So just leave that, just let it go, and just let your faith take over, let your belief in God take over, and it'll help you through the entire journey, and it won't be a bad one.
I love that. I appreciate you saying that, Queen. Queen, I want to talk to you before we get into the walk. I want to talk about your love of Yazoo City, because one thing, since I've been working with the station there in Yazoo City, since you and I first connected, I was looking at some old pictures of us on Facebook together from the first time we had our pictures together. I don't know if you'll remember this, even when Maximus Wright had his play there. You and I took some,
at the old junior high school, yes.
Yeah. I was looking at those on Facebook today. You are such a supporter of Yazoo City. Why has it been so important for you to not only to talk to people about Yazoo City, but also to support what's happening in Yazoo City?
Actually, because I was born and raised here, but I also moved away from here like in 74 and lived in Jackson from like 74 up until 26. And then I moved back home because I had always wanted to move back. And so the opportunity came for me to move back. I transferred from a job because my mom was living there and to help take care of her and everything while she was here. And I just love small town USA. And Yazoo is a wonderful small little town to be in.
Yeah, I agree with you. I live in Brandon, outside of Jackson. We are a small community as well. There's nothing like it where people get to know you. Yeah, and people get to know you, and you get to know them and know what their needs are. But Queen, I have to say, and I've noticed this over the 9 years I've been with the station, people have such love and respect for you. What has that been like for you to know that people not only admire you, but also look at you as an example of what's possible for them?
I guess because of my faith and my belief in God. And I am humbled to know that people look at me in that way, and I don't take it for granted. And I think it's all, like I said, it's all God. It has nothing to do with me, but have to do with giving God the glory, telling my story and letting him get the glory for it.
Yeah, I love that. And I love the fact, too, of course, as I mentioned, you supporting things in Yazoo City as you did, as I mentioned, with the anniversary event as well as other things, too. So, Queen, as we talk about, again, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we're going to get into the walk here in a moment. But when did you, tell us, if you don't mind, the year that your breast cancer was first diagnosed?
My breast cancer was diagnosed in 2008, August of 2008.
That's amazing. And can you, for our audience out there, and again, everyone's situation is different, had you, because you knew about family history, was that something that you had been yourself checking for?
Yes, exactly. After just getting my mammograms done every year after I've known, like my grandmother, my mom, and my aunt, Like my grandmother had passed years ago, and and my mom and my aunt both was diagnosed at the same time. My aunt only passed, like a year after her diagnosis, and my mother lived several years after then, and that just made me make more intentional about making sure that I get my mammogram done, and then at all times. And another reason is because, believe it or not, people don't realize how important it is. And I still have a family member right now, for the life of me, I do not understand. She just won't go get a mammogram done.
Wow.
But it's important.
Yeah, and I think for some people, it's just like with us. I turned 49 this year, and of course next year, I'll be getting my first colonoscopy, and I take my dad for his appointments, my mom as well. I think a lot of times you don't want to think about it, Queen.
I know
it's one of those things. But like you said, such an important thing that being able to catch it early is important, but also just the awareness, right, is important too. So talk to us about that. 2008 is when you were diagnosed. When did you start making yourself an advocate to say that you wanted to be able to help spread the word with others? Actually,
in 2008, and it goes back to, like I said, I have a mammogram done every year in 2006. When I did a mammogram, and they looked at my breast, and then they told me to come back. I went back. They said, okay, everything's fine. 2007, they did the same thing. Mammogram told me to come back, did the sonogram, same thing. And then in 2008, when I went in, and then they say, well, you need to have a biopsy done. And so, I did the biopsy, and it was cancerous. And like 2 days later, I had a lumpectomy done. And I went through the chemo and the radiation, But the one thing I didn't do, I didn't give up my hope, didn't give up my faith. I stayed strong. That, along with a good support system, that really kept me going.
Yeah. And now you're able to be a part of that support system for other people. Queen, and that's why we're so glad to have you on with us today. For those who are just tuning in, welcome. You're listening to Conversations Live here on the radio dial at Max WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com. Also, we welcome those tuning in online worldwide via our podcast at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music. We're speaking with Miss Queen Street Lewis today. We're talking with her not only about what it's been like for her to share her own breast cancer journey, but also now what she's doing to raise awareness to others. And that brings us into Queen to Saturday, October the 12th. Again, the Yazoo City Pink October Breast Cancer Awareness Month. How long have you been involved in these walks in Yazoo City?
Okay, the church that I'm affiliated with, Tulane Baptist Church in Yazoo City, Pastor Reverend Cyrus Webb, they have been walking since 2008. I just joined their congregation in 2019, and so it was a small walk at first, just around the block at the church, and then last year was our first time ever, just putting it out there for the public. And you talk about being amazed, and like last year we started like at 6:30, so when I got to the park at 6:30 that morning and saw all these cars out there, and it was still dark outside, and we had about 80 people, and then so from that, I knew that it was important, not just to me, but to my community as well. And so we're looking forward to it again on October the 12th. And it's special for me this particular time because it's a day after my birthday.
Yeah, I saw someone post about that on Facebook to come support it and to support you as well. And let's talk about support, Queen, because I think this is such an important thing, is why I like using my platform to bring attention, which is why you and I, when we met up in Yazoo City, and it was so good to see you and get another picture with you. But when you were telling me about the event, I knew I wanted to be able to have you on to help spread the word. What has it been like for you to get the support? It's one thing at the time of the diagnosis, as you mentioned, 2008, but, just like I know, people, unfortunately, people's lives are busy. Some people, they move on. They may check in with you initially. Then, they may feel like you're good. What has it been like for you to have this support over the years, Queen?
It has really been great and humbling, because when you're doing what God has assigned your hands to do and you leave it all in His hands, and people see that you are genuine, and when people see that you are genuine and that you really care, they support you. I mean, and it comes from all directions. People, support that you don't even think about it, that you don't even know. You get phone calls or you get stopped or what have you, and how you affect people's lives. And it makes you, just humble, because you're doing what I said, what God has assigned your hands to do.
Right. Such a great thing. And I'm so glad we had a chance to be able to have you on, to be able to talk about this, and to be able to let our audience know this is something they can be a part of. So, again, everyone, our guest has been Queen Street Lewis. We've been talking with her, of course, about her own journey of community in Yazoo City, but also what it's been like for her to share her cancer diagnosis, and also what it's been like for her, too, to be able to inspire and motivate other people, too. And guess what? You all can be a part of this, too. So, again, as we mentioned, it's Saturday, October the 12th. And, Queen, if you don't mind, give our audience a little bit of the details. Where is it going to be starting? What time? What do they need to know about being a part of it?
Okay, thank you. The walk will be, like you said, will be on October the 12th. And the walk starts at 7 o'clock a.m., and it starts at Wardell Leach Park, which is right there on 15th Street here in Yazoo City. And then after the walk, we will also be having a health fair as well. There will be different vendors there doing different type of checkups and everything. So it's going to be a great weekend that weekend. And it's also Yazoo City Homecoming weekend. So come out and enjoy homecoming and finish it up with a nice walk, supporting yourself if you have cancer, supporting someone that you know, because I know all of us know someone that has been affected by it, and just let you know that you are not walking alone, and let you also know that when you've been diagnosed, that it's not a death sentence. It's just a chance for you to tell your story so that God can get the glory.
Yeah, such a great point. And I really appreciate you sharing what you just shared, Queen. Is not a death sentence. I think these days that's one of the great things about technology, which is why this research is so important, right? The advancements that have been made in the past 10 years or 20 years has been remarkable when it comes to breast cancer. And I think, too, as you mentioned, of course, being able to do those checks, those screenings are definitely important. Unfortunately, we know there are cases, Queen, that you know this, too, it's not always caught, but I think, being able to be proactive with your own health is so important. I want to talk to you about one more thing, Queen, because this is something I also know about you just from spending time with you, and you have such an appreciation for life. As you mentioned here a couple of times, you didn't give up. You had your faith. What is it that keeps you moving even when you're facing different challenges?
The thing that I have been telling you since we've been talking is that it's my faith and my belief in God. That's what keeps me going. And what really bring it home to me was when my mom passed in 2017, when my mom passed. And, I'm a crybaby by heart, but to this day I never cried. And people would ask me, well, how you doing? I say, I'm okay. And they go, well, how can you be okay? And your mom just died. And then I had to go to my pastor at the time and ask him why. And he said, Queen, it's because of your faith and because of what your mom has instilled in you. And that's why you know that she's at peace and you can be at peace. And so, therefore, I live each day to just be at peace and to be thankful that God has allowed me a chance to be here. And so you can take it to be like you can be either bitter or you can be better. And so what you're going to choose, you're going to always choose to be better.
Yeah, love that. Again, everyone, Queen Street Lewis has been our guest. Make sure you guys are joining Queen on Saturday, October the 12th, for the walk, again, in support of breast cancer awareness here in Yazoo City for our audience joining us locally, but also for those who would like to join. And, Queen, how can our audience stay connected with you, and even if they have some questions?
Okay, you can stay connected with me. I work part-time at Yazoo County Human Resource Agents. This is the agents for the seniors. So anyone over 60 years old, you can come down there and join us every day for the activities and the things that we do with our seniors to keep them connected in the neighborhood, in the community. And the other way that you can get in contact with me is through my phone number. It's 662-590-5630. That's my cell number. The number where I am to 1 o'clock every day is 662-746-1222, Yazoo County Human Resource Agency.
All right. Well, Queen, a great conversation with you. Thank you so much for being a guest with us today. Really appreciate it, and looking forward to speaking with you again soon.
Okay, Cyrus, thank you so much, and I appreciate you taking the time to interview me.
You are more than welcome, and I thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Now let's go make today amazing. Take care.